Hey everyone, Richard Metalfan here, continuing the Behemoth discography, and today we're talking about Sventevith, Storming Near the Baltic, which was released in April of 1995 through Pagan Records. Now, of course, this is the band's actual debut full-length studio album. As you can see, here's my copy, which is signed by the current lineup. And yeah, let's just go right into this. Now, with this album, it sort of has like the same production value as the Four-Stream Eternally EP. Just very raw sounding, kind of like typical of like the black metal acts around the 90s or so. And of course, there's only two members, like their other guitar player, Raphael, who was on the Four-Stream Eternally had left. So it was only two members on here, being Nurgle, who's did vocals, guitar, and played all the guitars and all the bass, and Adam Mariasco, I believe that's how you say his name, on the drums. And they have some additional help. They have a keyboard player named Cesare August Norizzi. This is from a band called, I believe, Christ Agony, on the keyboards. Yeah, and actually some of these songs that are on this are actually some re-recordings from their demo from the Pagan Vastlands, and some from the Four-Stream Eternally EP. And it's like some of them, I believe, my opinion, hasn't changed a bit on them, or some of them has changed. Sorry, I haven't heard one or the other, but yeah, without further ado, let's just dive into Behemoth's debut full-length album, track by track. Now, it opens up with the song Chant of the Eastern Lands, which honestly is a pretty good opener. It kind of sounds like some very Viking-ish, similar to like Enslaved a little bit, but also have a sort of mixture of like from one of my other favorite black metal bands, Emperor. You could definitely, that's just kind of like how it sounds like musically. And then it goes into The Touch of Naya, which is actually less than a minute, sort of like a small interlude. It's sort of like it has some acoustic guitars and stuff. I think it's kind of a weird song. So, but then it goes into From the Pagan Vastlands, which is actually I think a re-recording from their demo. Now, and it has some very good qualities, and almost kind of sounds kind of like Immortal a little bit, which is pretty awesome. Hidden in a Fog, which is actually I believe a re-recording from the Four-Stream Eternally EP, which is a track, though I think the version found on the EP puts it to shame. Has some great lyrics and almost has kind of like a sing-along quality to it. It's about pagan vampires, and Behemoth still uses that type of acoustical guitar underlay in some of those songs like today. They even like with like some of their more recent stuff. And here it is found like at the beginning. It's sort of like a rustic and archaic decoration of folk, and Nurgle's vocals are the same in the song as they are with others, but they don't really fit into this arrangement very well. But I honestly feel like it comes off a little bit forced, and I just feel like a good song kills its own momentum at the end, and I just don't know. No, I just think this song does put up, but I will say that the song puts up a good use of synth choral chants and organ backing along with like the other songs. And Nurgle impresses here with sort of like the tremolo, low-picked guitars below the richness. And I really love the bass tone, like at the end of the song, is really good. And then we go into Ancient. I'm sorry about that. Which is actually another instrumental, which is kind of reminds me a little bit of Burzum's Hans am Rist from Det som Egen var, but is actually much more superior to that song. It's a solemn little melodic interlude that shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, every time I hear it, there's like a pronuncium visual of like the old condemned church in the middle of the Sicilian woods, where specters of the ancient orientation for the Justinian. It's a dark storybook feel to a very black metal is like never a bad thing, but I think it's a good song. And then Entering the Fausten Soul, I think is another good song. I really like it a lot. But Forgotten Cult of Alderon, which is probably to be one of the best songs on here. And I love the transition at near the little over 2 minutes in. And it's just the biting of iciness of the blast that goes along with like the riffs, which will stifle you like below. Wolves Guard My Coffin. It's Give the Song All Its Power. Much of this album reminds me of like old Carpathian Forest, but it also kind of reminds me a little bit of like early Satyricon. And then Hell Dwells on Ice, which is another melodic song, but it's at the end of the album. Has some very beautifully apocalyptic lyrics, and it's a very soft, enchanting peach, which is sung in English. I think this is the first time Behemoth has a song sung in English. But you didn't know unless you looked at the lyric sheet because like the pronunciation. And it almost kind of reminds me of something from like early Catatonia. I know I keep comparing like all the songs from like different, that sounds like so bands, but that's just how I feel about it. Now overall, Sventevith, Storming Near the Baltic by Behemoth is a pretty good EP. I mean, pretty good album. I'm sorry I keep fucking up my words. I give this probably a solid 8 out of 10. And it's a great solid the debut full-length album following up from there and the 4-stream Eternal EP. But yeah, that's my review of Behemoth's debut full-length. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. See you all in the next video, and keep it metal.